You are currently hosting a stranger's depression. It's not yours. You didn't earn it, but you're wearing it like a second skin because your brain has a social mimicry glitch that you can't turn off. We've been told for years that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's not just a motivational quote. It's a biological mandate. In 2026, the data is even more haunting. Research into neural coupling shows that when you listen to a friend vent about their failure, your brain activity mirrors theirs so closely that your prefrontal cortex begins to respond as if the failure happened to you. This is the chameleon effect. It is the silent thief of your potential. Disclaimer: this analysis is for educational purposes. Understanding these triggers is meant to help you audit your environment, not to diagnose clinical conditions or manipulate others. 1. The mirror neuron trap. Your brain is a biological copy machine. This starts with mirror neurons. Discovered by researchers like Giacomo Rizzolatti at the University of Parma, these neurons fire both when you perform an action and when you see someone else perform it. If your closest friend is perpetually anxious, your brain isn't just observing their anxiety. It is simulating it. You start to adopt their micro-expressions, their slumped posture, their cynical tone. A 2023 study published in Nature Human Behavior tracked how emotions spread through social networks. They found that high-intensity, negative emotions, like hopelessness or chronic stress, are significantly more contagious than positive ones. You aren't just being a good friend. You are undergoing a psychological merger. Now, you might be thinking, I'm mentally strong. I don't just fold because my friends are sad. But this isn't about your strength. It's about your autonomic nervous system. When you sit across from a person who is constantly in fight or flight mode, your heart rate variability begins to sync with theirs. This is called physiological synchrony. You are catching their stress like a common cold. 2. The anxiety echo and the 18-month rule. The most terrifying truth of the chameleon effect is its longevity. Behavioral psychologists often discuss the 18-month rule. This is the observation that it takes roughly a year and a half for a person's baseline personality to shift toward the median of their social circle. If you spend 18 months around people who settle, you will find your own ambition starts to feel like a chore rather than a drive. Think about a person who joined a high-performing startup. They weren't a hustler before. But within months, they spoke the language. They felt the same urgency. They adopted the same caffeine and code lifestyle. But it works the other way, too. A person once struggled with immense creative blocks. They were brilliant, but their circle was filled with critics, people who talked about doing things but never did them. The glitch made that person a critic, too. They became a mirror of the stagnation surrounding them. They didn't lose their talent, they simply synchronized with people who weren't using theirs. 3. Emotional contagion, the digital glitch. In 2026, your 5 people aren't just the ones in your living room. They are the creators in your feed. Dr. Elaine Hatfield, a pioneer in the study of emotional contagion, defines it as the tendency to automatically mimic and synchronize expressions, vocalizations, and postures with those of another person. A massive study conducted by researchers at Facebook and Cornell University, the emotional contagion experiment, proved that simply seeing negative posts in a news feed led users to post more negative content themselves. They didn't need to meet these people. The glitch works through glass and pixels. When you consume doom-scrolling content, you are opting into a collective anxiety. You are letting a stranger's cortisol levels dictate your own. 4. The success sabotage glitch. We often think of mimicry as a way to fit in. But there is a darker side, social comparison theory, originally proposed by Leon Festinger. When you start to succeed, the chameleon within your social circle feels a threat. To maintain the mirror, they may unconsciously attempt to pull you back down to their level of comfort. Now, you might be thinking, my friends would never sabotage me. It's rarely conscious. It's the crab in a bucket mentality. It sounds like, are you sure you want to take that risk? Remember what happened last time. Or, don't work too hard, you're becoming a stranger. They aren't trying to hurt you. They are trying to keep the mirror consistent. Because if you change, The reflection they see of themselves in you changes, too. And for many, that new reflection is too painful to look at. 5. The decision tax of the circle. Every person in your circle carries a decision tax. If the people around you have poor impulse control, spending money they don't have, eating food that makes them lethargic, you pay that tax via mimetic desire. The French philosopher René Girard coined the term mimetic desire. He argued that we don't actually know what we want. We look at what others want and we copy them. If your circle values status symbols over freedom, you will find yourself working a job you hate to buy things you don't need, just to maintain the mimicry. You aren't making choices. You are reflecting a script that was written by someone else's insecurities. 6. The trauma mirror, healing the glitch. The most profound form of the chameleon effect happens in childhood. We are born as blank mirrors. We adopt the attachment styles of our primary caregivers. According to Bowlby's attachment theory, if you were raised by someone with an anxious preoccupied style, you likely mirrored that anxiety to stay connected to them. You learned that being hyper-vigilant was the price of love. As an adult, you might find yourself attracted to chaotic people. Why? Because the chameleon in you is looking for a familiar mirror. You are repeating a pattern, not because it's good for you, but because your brain thinks it's safe since it's what you know. To break the glitch, you must acknowledge that your quirks might actually be borrowed trauma. 7. Strategic decoupling, the audit. How do you fix a glitch that is hardwired into your neurons? You don't fight the mimicry. You curate the input. As the Roman philosopher Seneca wrote in Moral Letters to Lucilius, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. This is the dark secret used by high performers for centuries. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on environmental design. They know that if they sit in a room with 5 billionaires, they will eventually start thinking like a billionaire. Not because of a course, but because of the glitch. The immediate action steps. 1. The 72-hour silence. Spend 3 days observing your thoughts after hanging out with specific people. Do you feel heavier, more cynical, more anxious? 2. The gap strategy. Intentionally spend time with one person who is ahead of you in a specific area: health, finance, peace. Let the mimicry do the heavy lifting. 3. The digital purge. Unfollow anyone whose mirror you don't want to become. If their aesthetic is anxiety, delete the connection. 8. The ethics of the mirror. Now that you know how the chameleon effect works, you have a responsibility. You are one of the 5 people for someone else. Are you a mirror of failures and anxieties, or are you a mirror of resilience and clarity? When you improve yourself, you aren't just helping you. Because of emotional contagion, your growth becomes a virus that infects your circle. Your calmness lowers their heart rate. Your success makes their success feel possible. Use the glitch for good. Stop trying to change your friends. Instead, change your own frequency and watch who stays to mirror the new you. If this resonated with you, it's likely because your brain recognized a glitch it's been trying to name for years. Look at the person you were 5 years ago. Look at the people you were with then. The correlation isn't a coincidence. It's biology. Audit your circle. Protect your mirror. Subscribe if you're ready to stop reflecting and start leading.